lost your mind. Homosexuality it should be a crime. They ought to take all the homosexuals and put them all on a boat and give them enough gas to get halfway out in the middle of the ocean and let the sharks eat them. So there's no way to stop me. There's no way to stop the truth. This isn't preaching, this is hate speech. It's both! Because we can purge out all the sissies and purge out all the fair weather Christians, purge out all the weaklings. Because we're supposed to be treating them lovingly and respectfully. Even though the Bible says they're filthy and vile. I mean, I know some of you guys are enjoying it. So don't act like I'm all alone up here. Some of you thumbed up some of those comments too, didn't you? I'm just saying, look, you know, hey.
God damn. God damn. I have not seen that intro yet. I was not prepared. God damn.
Nano made those one of our old mods. Oh man, we missed Nano's videos. Fucking Steven Anderson. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Blackout. I am your host with the most, all the way from the East Coast. Of course, folks, I am in.
There you go.
Airplane mode, and I am joined by University of Texas legend, former NFL linebacker, 19th degree black belt in 15 types of martial arts that your uneducated ass can't even pronounce. I am talking about the captain of the Gin and Truth ship where Christian apologetics goes to die. Give it up for Robert motherfucking Reed.
Best intro ever. Best intro fucking ever.
By the way, that's actually how you're saved in. It has been, unfortunately, man. That's my bad, man. That's this movement, man. Look, people got to understand. It takes the threat of eviction to stop this show.
No, pretty much. Oh yeah, no. This train will never get off the tracks. Never.
But yeah, man. I actually wanted to say that's how you're saved in my phone. You're saved in my phone as Robert motherfucking Reed, and that's the only way anybody should ever put it in there.
I absolutely love it. Thank you.
But yeah, man, I want to also thank you for just helping me get through the move because I had to have the Uncle Bobby. The Uncle Bobby episodes were
and you even went back, didn't you? Holy crap. You went back into the old shit.
Yeah, we did. I was like, look, the man only makes one episode a day. I'm just gonna, if I need more Uncle Bobby, I'm just gonna have to go back into the catalog. And
there's plenty. Holy crap.
Yeah,
more than plenty.
It really helps. Also, it's funny, like we watch them so fast now. I said the other day, we don't allow Gin and Truth episodes to cool. You know how the cookies would come out and your mother was like, no, you got to let them sit there and cool. They just came out the oven. Like, no, we're like, Uncle Bobby went by. It dropped 5 minutes ago. Did you see it? Let's play it.
I am beyond honored. I still, when I started this, my desk was facing that way, and it was just that old Lenovo piece of shit, and I didn't even have a microphone. It was horrible, and I'm honored that people listen to my ranting, and so thank y'all so much.
Truly. The content is great, man.
Thank you.
The content is great, and the other thing I wanted to say thanks to all the people in Gather who held it down throughout the week. It was a long week of moving, so it was great to have friends around. But yeah, man, you got supporters all over the world, and you had a former pastor join recently and leave you a comment.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It was that second installment of the apologetics course, and I saw the thingamapopper in the comments that within the first 2 minutes, he hit the subscribe button, and that was pretty fucking cool. And he was a former pastor.
Damn.
And and he went to school for it even. And it was just like, holy crap. I'm honored that he would join the brigade. I mean, holy crap. And I mean, if anyone could sit here and kick the actual factuals, it's an actual former priest.
Right.
So, I mean, they can't get to say, well, you weren't actually a Christian like they can to you and I. That if it doesn't get much more Christian-y than a fucking priest and a pastor.
Right. And I struggle myself with the fact that I can't figure out, how to pull people I love and care about out of it, right? And it's just encouraging to know that that it's still happening, right? That this is an active process, that people are finding their way out, and then they're finding their way to the channel, and then they're like letting you know. Because I know some of the most meaningful experiences I've had is where I've been able to like help other people in their deconversion, right? Because it was just a little bit less new to me than it was to them. And I was able to be like, oh, check this person out, check that person out. But this is people like in person, right? This is people I was talking to, sending stuff. So you have the feedback. And one thing I noticed about YouTube is like you put so much into it, but you don't really know unless somebody tells you, oh, you helped me go through this. Oh, I just came out of the faith. You don't know what, you know what I mean? So I always want to let the viewers know, like, please, like, share your stories, because otherwise we don't know who we're talking to, right? And it's so exciting when you actually get to hear a bit of that. But look, man, some things have happened since the last time we did an episode. And
lots of stuff.
We're gonna get a little bit into the politics today or the news, the law, maybe just the criminal law news. but your former president, not mine, I don't associate with this country, was indicted on 30
dozens,
37 counts of all types of espionage and document crimes. It's funny, I was thinking about it, like between these two cases already, isn't he over 70 felony charges that he's under right now?
Oh yeah.
Right? Because it was 34 from the one, now 37 for this. Like, this is crazy.
Big time.
But I already hear the double dumb double down happening.
Oh yeah.
And it's crazy to me that we can't get people on board with what's going on in this country. And David Pakman did we try to react live, so we don't want, but we know what it is, but we don't really know what it is. But it's like David Pakman, I think he's analyzing a discussion between, it looks like a Trump focus group or something, like a round table or something like that. So I was like, yo, we should talk about that, because that I want to talk about these crazy Trumpists, right? There's going to be a lot of news about Trump, but we need to talk about these crazy people, because to me it's right. First off, come on, let's not act like they're not Christians. we know Christians disproportionately support Trump, and Trump supporters are disproportionately Christian.
Pretty much.
And so, it fits right into sort of the apologetics and the tap dancing they're going to do about their faith. But before we do that, Ari and the crew over at MSNBC did a news story where they actually laid out the roadmap about the indictment, like what's really going on. And I thought it'd be good for me and you to review it, because it actually lays out the case. So this is like us doing a little homework here, like a little. Here's the thing, gang. Like, there's gonna be a lot of noise about this case, right? And I want people to be able to be like, no, this is what happened. he had this opportunity and that opportunity, right? And it's hard to like kind of see it all in front of you. So there's a really cool graphic that's the feature of this. And yeah, man, let's go ahead and go through it.
Yeah, let's bust it out.
News broke about a federal Trump indictment exactly 1 week ago.
Oh, hold on. Pause that.
About it online. Reporters quickly.
I'm getting a really bad echo.
Oh, hang on. That's probably my fault. All right. That should be. Hang on a sec. I'm playing that.
Confirm the news.
You're coming here. I think that's supposed to go into yours, but you said you're getting an echo?
Yeah.
All right,
like I can hear Ari's voice twice.
Ew. All right, I didn't have anybody in here with me yesterday. Give me a sec.
Okay. Let's go. How do I get rid of that?
No. It's probably, I'm sure it's on my end. This is coming out there. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, let me. I have to make sure it goes out there so that it gets to them. But then you're hearing it twice?
I am.
Special Counsel Jack Smith announced and unsealed it the next day.
Still twice.
And then there were the headlines about what was in there.
That's weird. You're not still in Restream, are you?
Let me check. Let's get out of this.
Oh, hang on. Let me try this. Okay. Something. Let me try something. Don't share the tab audio. All right.
The espionage.
Is that better?
The news broke about a federal Trump indictment exactly
now that sounds sexy.
Week ago.
Okay.
Trump posted about it online. Reporters quickly confirmed the news. Special Counsel Jack Smith announced and unsealed it the next day. And then there were the headlines about what was in there, the espionage charges, the hoarding of national security secrets, and the conspiracy around the alleged crimes. Trump was then arraigned with that focus on the charges, but also the sight of him in court, the bond process, the judge issuing a partial no contact order, and all the details we've been pouring over this week in this unprecedented development. Now, here we are. The dust is settling. If you follow this kind of stuff, you probably have a general sense of this case, of how Trump took and hid the secret material.
Pause the tape
and
already.
The evidence against
Pause
him.
the tape already.
You also probably have a...
Here's my problem with everything that's going on right now. Do you realize that I didn't watch any of it? It didn't move. On the human side, I was very sad. 2 people passed away. In 94, 95, I didn't keep up with a fucking second of the OJ trial. I didn't. I was getting ready for a fucking football season. I had other things to worry about. Do you realize this country was faster to rush to judgment over OJ Simpson? Do you realize how much we were unified as a country? And God forbid you said, cut the juice loose, or OJ didn't do shit. You might as well have jerked off in a public space. Donald Trump is guilty of fucking everything he is being accused of, plus 100 other things that we aren't aware of. Do you guys realize for the entirety of his presidency, every time that he fucked up, there was always an excuse. There was always a reason. Even with COVID, while all the other first world countries were having doctors explain shit, Donald Trump got up, and then with the last 15 minutes, that's when Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci got to say, "Oh, the shit's fucked up." Okay, cut, go to commercial. And then finally, when the numbers were coming out, while everyone else was going in the right direction, and the U.S. was just basically killing our citizens off, hey, Donald Trump, you want it to go up front and center, right? Do you take any responsibility for this? I don't take any responsibility at all.
Absolutely.
Please, everyone go fuck. This is why I haven't really talked about this on my show. Donald Trump is fucking guilty. Can we get the wax out of everybody's ears? The fucker is guilty. Stop with this allegedly, maybe kind of slightly. Well, did Biden steal the Donald Trump is fucking guilty. And the thing is, there's no way we get out of this with all the skin still on our ass. If Donald Trump sees a day in jail, he becomes a martyr. And I've said since January the 7th, the definition of a failed insurrection is a dress rehearsal. This is going to happen again, gang. It's going to happen again. If he doesn't get punished, then you are feeding the ego of a petulant child. You just got caught fucking up and you've received no punishment. And when you don't punish bad behavior, you are by definition endorsing it. There's no way this ends well for anybody. No way in hell. So buckle up, boys and girls, and wear a helmet.
Buckle up.
A sense of some of his responses that he claims maybe he declassified everything or that the DOJ is just hunting him like a witch. But there is more to this 40-plus page indictment because Jack Smith is using it to tell us and the court and ultimately a jury to tell a story. It's a story that will be key to this prosecution, and it's crucial for showing a jury why this case is not only clear, the DOJ says, not only damning and egregious, but how the evidence and timeline makes it different and worse than other incidents where ex-officials were found to have discovered some of this type of classified or secret material and then returned it. That includes the DOJ.
And this is the key
reviews
thing for
of
us to
Pence.
be able to
Right.
understand when we're talking to Trump supporters.
So right now, we're turning to a new beat analysis of Smith's case through a timeline.
Okay.
What you will see draws on the indictment's evidence and other reported information. This is the DOJ's evidence for the charged crimes. The defendant is presumed innocent. This investigation began in March 2022 after Trump sent 15 boxes of material to the archives, and officials then discovered what they thought were classified and secret materials. So here we go. This is exactly where the timeline starts. Very simple, and we will be filling it up. But what you see in the upper left is the beginning of these events that led to the indictment of a former president. You see on the left the 15 boxes going back to the archives. And the material in those boxes raised these questions about national security laws. And that was referred to the Justice Department, which you see here in a criminal referral. So what you see on the left is the very start. It's a serious but not automatically devastating thing. DOJ's open probes like this that do not lead
hey everybody.
to even aggressive tactics like searches and seizures, let alone indictments. Military veterans, officials like Mike Pence, who I mentioned, have faced probes at basically what you see on your screen with no charges. But the discovery of those documents at Trump's home led to a subpoena. And that was the key escalation. And that you see here added to our timeline. That subpoena meant DOJ was now demanding these documents with a concern that they may have been stolen, purposefully held, or even shared illegally. Now, at that point, the documents that could have been taken by anyone on the property. There wasn't necessarily a finger pointing only at Donald Trump. There was just DOJ legally demanding the missing documents.
Pause the tape. Pause the tape. Again, this is why my channel will never be monetized. Again, well, you know, it wasn't necessarily Donald. Shut the fuck up. It was Donald Trump. Again, all the hemming and hawing and maybe let's just kind of stop it. But I understand. That is a national news network. I just got my 1,700th follower. Right? I get there's a difference. And I get they have to play a certain game. But stop it. Okay? Stop it. If I walk in on my girl fucking someone else and we've got a monogamous relationship, is it possible that I've had like maybe 25 too many of these and I didn't see exactly what I thought it's possible. Or maybe she's just fucking someone else in my fucking bed. Right? Stop it. All of this little leeway. This is why this national discussion is what it is. And again, I understand they've got advertisers, they've got professional responsibilities. I've got none of that. Donald Trump is guilty as shit. He took the fucking documents, gang. Period. 100%. In the story. 100%. Donald Trump is behind January the 6th. Donald Trump is the reason why COVID fucking ran wild. Donald Trump is a bad person. which made him a horrible leader.
Uh-oh.
Stop it. But again, I understand MSNBC has got a professional responsibility. I've got none of that.
None, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't have the same responsibilities.
Yeah.
But that's what's crazy about all this is we're going to see the privilege. We're going to see how he had so many opportunities to just go along with the program, and we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about his indictment, and he just refused to.
So hold on. I love that. Assembly of God.
Yes.
Is up above the law. Yes. And I put that in the same vein as the Jews. I didn't watch anything about O.J. Simpson until literally 20 years after the fact. My opinion is O.J. did that shit. Absolutely no question. O.J. did that shit. But he's motherfucking O.J. The first man to run for 2,000 yards in an NFL season. He was on a little known fact. O.J. Simpson was on a world record-setting sprint relay while he was at USC. The dude's an NFL Hall of Famer. You know, he's Nordberg from The Naked Gun, but he's the juice. So, of course, he's above the law. Period. End of story. Donald Trump is above the law. He is.
Yeah, I think he had to go way beyond egregious for them to even... Right, everything that's what we're gonna see too, right? Is that this was not handled like it would be for you or I or anybody else. No. You know, he really had to steal nuclear secrets or whatever for them to even.
Yeah, the real fucked up thing. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, Trump knows that he's got people that will lick his dirty booty hole. Like he fucked Stormy Daniels. Trump fucked Stormy Daniels. That's not up for debate.
Right.
While his wife was at home breastfeeding his newborn child. Period. End of story. I know someone at work who, when the topic comes up, the first thing she says is, Stormy Daniels is trash. She wasn't married to Melania. Okay? Right. She wasn't cheating on anybody. That is a professional sex worker who fucked somebody and got paid afterwards.
Yep.
Right? It's like, oh, why does it smell like dog shit? I'm in the zoo. This smells terrible. Because you're in a zoo. A professional sex worker fucked somebody. That's on the up and up.
Right.
Donald Trump knows he's got people that no matter how badly he fucks up, they're going to say, well, what about... I was making groceries after I worked out. I saw a car that had Biden crime family written on it in shoe paint. You can't be fucking serious. You may think that Biden's a bad president,
right?
But Donald Trump committed a fucking crimes.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Again, he knows for a fact.
That's
why this video, I fuck it. Donald Trump knows that he can sit up there and say, it's a witch hunt. They're coming after me. Go protect me. And enough of this country will do it. And that's why we have to talk about this bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is garbage, man. Garbage. I'm just sitting here mad that I'm not even drunk. So
I'm taking a drink right now.
Things start to go south. Now, Trump and his team claimed they searched through everything, remember? And they claimed they returned everything. Let me repeat for our timeline tonight. They searched everything and they returned everything. All of it, they said. Indeed, that word all is a word they use in a sworn certification. You can see it described in the indictment. Trump attorneys saying any and all responsive documents were returned. That's responsive to the DOJ subpoena I showed you on the timeline. So you'll see Trump and his team returning what they falsely claimed were all 38 documents, all 38 classified documents. That's what you see at the top. And that's the arrow going up from the subpoena. But here is where things took a fork in the road. Around this same time, they began, Trump and his aide, hiding and moving around the other secret documents. Trump and his now indicted aide were doing that basically on a running basis with their own hands. And that is the red arrow. And you'll note this is the first red arrow you're going to see on the timeline. Trump hides the other documents. They even staged a kind of a fake search site.
Look at this.
There are photos that have been recovered that
Jesus
show the
Christ.
standing of these documents here. And so you now see the arrow down to hiding the documents is the fork in the road. It points to one of the crimes that Trump's been indicted for. Now, remember, what you're seeing there is still 2022. Last year, the public didn't know what Trump was hiding or the lengths he was going, nor did they know how DOJ might respond to the arrow you see on top, the 38 documents which Trump did return and which he, a former president, and his lawyer certified were all the documents.
Okay.
So now on our timeline, we get all the way up to summer, August 2022, when, against this set of developments,
Come on, look at all
something
those
happened that had
boxes.
never happened before
Stop.
to a president's property and residence. The FBI went in and searched.
They raided that motherfucker.
Today, we are in uncharted territory.
Search and seizure. The FBI
All right,
descends on
Right.
Trump's
This was
Mar-a-Lago
crazy.
home.
The FBI search at Mar-a-Lago has no parallel in American history.
And the
Exactly.
funny thing is, and the crazy thing is, like you said, the Biden crime family, they held Trump rallies outside of Mar-a-Lago while he was being raided. The damn broadcasters had to move around and shit because they couldn't even cover the story over the Trumpists cheering this man on as the FBI is raiding his house. But they're going to talk about the
Jesus
Biden crime family.
Christ. Here's the thing, and I remember doing this quite literally in season 1 or season 2. Where again, this is the ultimate example of whataboutism, right? Again, even if Joe Biden is guilty of whatever the fuck, well, Obama's got this, Bill Clinton got his dick sucked, fine, great, but it doesn't mean that Donald Trump didn't fuck up. He still fucked up. But what about Biden? Biden did. I don't care. I don't care. Because here's why I don't care, gang. This is what Donald Trump wanted. He wanted all of the attention. But he's a petulant child. So what he doesn't realize is being up front and center means we get to see all of your good, but more importantly, we all now get to see all of your bad.
Absolutely.
Now we're seeing his bad. So please continue to point out what Bill Clinton did.
Right.
Please continue to pull out what Obama did, what Biden's doing. Go ahead. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump came in here and took a massive shit on the living room. Now you can sit here and tell me, well, the dude who repaired, your sink, he fucked up, and your mailman was late. And you know what? I filed my taxes and I did it. It doesn't take away from the fact that someone shit in my living room. You can continue to point out everything else that everyone else has done, but your underwear is still filthy. So again, this is why I haven't done any shows on it, because I'm going to have a stroke.
I haven't either, but I wanted to get you riled up, man.
Yo,
this is historic shit. Let's do it, man.
This
Fuck
has ever
these
happened
people.
before, and we don't know how this ends.
We don't know how this ends. That was the fair estimation of that unprecedented at the time step. But we are closer today because you have now Donald Trump indicted by the government he once ran. And it was clear Trump had lied about returning, quote, all the documents. What you see on the timeline is that the DOJ hit a contraband jackpot. They didn't just find that Trump lied and there were more documents. They found he hid more documents than he gave back. We'll put this in full so you can take a good look. This is the next step. I showed you the search. There you go. Trump hides the other documents, and it could have ended there because no president had ever had his property searched. He might have thought, well, that'll wind it down. I gave some back and I hid some. But then the search yields the documents. It yields the photo you see on your screen. It was 102 more documents found. In other words, and this comes only in the new indictment that we have, Jack Smith showing they literally hid far more documents than they gave back.
Why is
And
this
yet
a shock?
Trump and his allies, even as this information came out, lied, downplayed, or minimized what was actually going on, what are now indicted crimes.
I have the right to take stuff. I have the right to look at stuff.
The list of what they took was kind of also vague and meaningless.
They'll probably find a note from me telling him how proud I am of him and what a great job he was doing as president.
Does anybody think that when he got down to Mar-a-Lago, he sat in a room for weeks on end or months on end going through boxes and papers? No, of course not.
Does anyone think that? Or do we now have the receipts, the damning texts?
Pause the tape. Pause the tape. And this is part of the problem. Again, he's so arrogant. He's never gotten his ass whipped.
Never.
This is what happens when you start out. This doesn't start here. This goes all the way back from when he was like a fucking teenager. No one has ever, motherfucker, what the fuck did you say? This dude has slow drip. He's never been checked. He's never been checked. So now that he's knocking on 80's door, why would we expect him to do anything other than what it is he's done for the entirety of his life? You just said, yeah, I fucking took that shit. What seems to be the problem?
Right, and that's how we know he did it.
Yeah,
I mean, that is essentially like, you know, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, but in the court of the blackout, you already told on yourself. So what are we talking about? What are we
Let's say O.J. Simpson is actually 100% not guilty. He's innocent. He did not do what he did to Nicole and Ron Goldman. I just learned that boy's name, by the way. Thor rest him. How many of y'all in the side chat would hire O.J. Simpson as a mentor of any kind? Right? He's forever tainted. That's Donald Trump. That is fucking Donald Trump. All these news stories and allegedly and the blase and the Glavinoids, cut the bullshit. Donald Trump is fucking guilty.
Absolutely.
He's guilty. He won't see a day in jail. But stop with the timelines and the arrows and the blood. He's guilty.
Yeah. But what I do hope people see that this was unprecedented and inane process where there's just no excuse for this. And I think this is actually a perfect segue. So let's go ahead and switch. We'll talk about the now that we kind of have a better picture, hopefully, of what we're dealing with. We'll go ahead and talk about these Trump supporters.
All right, we're going to do a deep dive now into what is happening psychologically, epistemologically, and cognitively with your average Trump voter right now. Now, let me set this up for you. We're going to look at a couple of focus groups, foci, we might even call them, okay, that PBS did with voters. And if I came to you and I said, folks, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you the insanity of the voters.
Hold on. We got an echo. We have an echo.
You know what? It probably...
All right, guys.
Sorry. It probably shared the audio again. Sorry about that. Nope. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Probably look at me and say, David, that's not super interesting. Like wanting a flat tax, even if I disagree with it, it's not really indicative of something wacky and zany that's going on. And I would agree with you. But we have a situation right now where we have a twice indicted, twice impeached, globally humiliated, failed former president with significant evidence of criminality against him, innocent until proven guilty, of course, running a campaign that is absolute lunacy. And yet there are still presumably tens of millions of people that support the guy. We're going to try to figure out what's going on. That's the introduction. Let's jump into the video and then we'll discuss.
How many of you know that Donald Trump was indicted last week? Raise your hand.
Everybody raises their hands, although some sort of reluctantly.
How many of you have heard that Donald Trump was indicted for a second time recently?
And the reason for hearing the questions twice is there's two focus groups here, and they're switching between the two.
Everybody knows. Okay.
From the 16 Republican voters we gathered yesterday evening, there were strong reactions to the second indictment of former President Donald Trump.
Well, I think he's being set up.
Tell me why.
Well, it's just too arranged. Everything is just too arranged. And when the FBI went in and raided his property at Mar-a-Lago, how do we know what they did and what they didn't do?
Right. Pause the tape. Pause the tape.
Wow.
Pause the tape. I mean, shut the fuck up. This is what I'm saying. Shut the fuck up. Come on, man.
It's too arranged, Uncle Bobby.
Well, no, I mean, right before I got on, I saw a clip of fuckface Frank Turek. And again, it's the whole, Trinity. Well, he's fully man, he's fully God, he's fully, but he's not fully man, he's not fully. It's like, can you guys just shut the fuck up and call it what it is? Bullshit. And it's hard for me to sit here and listen to these. Well, it was too arranged, and the Department of Injustice. But do you guys realize, again, for the entirety of Trump's presidency, he's done nothing wrong? Who knew that the second coming of Jesus was an orange-skinned fucking baboon who can't stop cheating on his wives? And now we have to sit here and listen to this focus group. You're like, well, it's a little bit too contrived. I don't think. Again, stop it. Stop it. We have stronger feelings for a double homicide, which he did that shit. We have stronger feelings for a double homicide from 30 years ago. Donald Trump is guilty of fucking existing. He was a horrible president. And now we have to sit here and listen to these fucking people make excuses.
It's
I mean, come on. It's beyond difficult. It's impossible. Again, we would not accept this in any other context. We wouldn't. If your paycheck didn't hit your account and you go to your boss and he spun the bullshit like an apologist does or a Trump apologist, I'm going to tell you what. When I go to bed tonight, the entirety, the whole, not part, not partial, the entirety of my paycheck better be in my fucking account. Because one of two things, motherfucker, this place is burning down, or you're going to wish it was going to burn down because you're going to have so many lawsuits on your ass that's going to cost you triple. We wouldn't accept this in any other context.
Absolutely.
Okay. You know what? I need another drink. I'm not even close to bullshitting. This is terrible. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Asked pollster Sarah Longwell, who also publishes the center-right website The Bulwark, to assemble two panels of GOP voters in the studio of Iowa PBS. I observed from the control room as she asked how they're thinking about politics, policy, and current events at this moment, when candidates are already descending upon their state ahead of next year's caucuses, and as the news of the second Trump indictment had been breaking.
It's baloney. I think, just why isn't Biden indicted? Just because he gave them back at an appropriate time?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Exactly the same thing.
Well, you have a current president who is sifting all of the DOJ on a potential candidate. That's never happened.
Right. Yeah. They really feel like the country's going in the wrong direction.
Afterwards, Longwell, who has conducted hundreds of...
Okay, so let's pause there. So asked their thought, they all had heard of the indictment, asked about their thoughts on the indictment. They said, it's clearly a setup. The photos appear to have been staged, sort of like we don't know what the FBI did, meaning they staged or set it up in some way. It's baloney. Right. Biden did the same.
I'm going to have a stroke.
I will go back. I skipped a little bit of time.
No, let's just do it. It's going to be terrible.
Let's continue.
Support for Donald Trump. How many of you distrust the FBI?
The three-letter agencies, the DOJ, the CIA, the FBI. I
Really?
think when the country was formulated, the best of intent was to put some of these organizations or governing bodies in place, but how they're being manipulated now and they're being weaponized is a bigger concern.
This is just straight up what MAGA has been feeding these folks. These folks have uncritically accepted these bogus talking points.
Pause the
I'm kind of frustrated.
Yeah, I'm going to have a stroke. I already have high blood pressure. Here's the problem. Again, support the blue, back the blue, party of law and order. They're right. They're all about it right up to the point to where the blue, the law and the order applies to them.
Yes.
I literally need to calm down because I'm going to punch my fucking computer screen. It's stop.
Yeah, I know.
Stop.
It's crazy.
It's like the whole First Amendment thing, right? But I think you're a bunch of fucking niggers. Then Scott Adams loses his fucking, source of income. He's like, what about the First Amendment? What about it? Right? Please notice how the government did not put him in jail. He's allowed to say what he wants to say, but it doesn't free his monkey ass from the consequences. This is not a First Amendment issue.
Right.
He did not work for Scott Adams Incorporated. That's what this is. The party of law and order. Well, this is the law and order that you're talking about. When you step out of bounds, your monkey ass gets checked. That's just the way it works. Fuck around and let me have 5 of these on an empty stomach. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the store. And while I'm sitting there swerving to get to the grocery store and I get pulled over, that's the consequences that follows drinking and driving.
Absolutely.
Right? There's consequences that come when you yank classified documents. And again, he says it out loud. But again, he's never been checked. This is what happens when you do not punish a child. They turn into an adult. That's called Donald Trump. Well, I declassified. You can declassify it with your brain. And they're declassified. That's not how it works. We've got this fuckface on video admitting all of this. That's why I'm saying, why are we wasting our time with allegedly, maybe kind of?
Right. It's just a matter. All I want to talk about is what's going to happen as a result. What can we prove, and what are the consequences going to be? Because we all know that he did this. What's amazing to me is just the way they hypocrisy out loud, right? The way that they are just so bold with like the fuck you, right? Like essentially it's our guy. Well, if it's our guy, then no, the CIA, the FBI, they're all corrupt. The Department of Justice. Please notice how when the routine business of disproportionately incriminating and incarcerating black people is going on, these people are behind the CIA, the FBI, the DOJ. All of them are national heroes all of a sudden until it's their guy. Unbelievable.
This is sitting on some bullshit.
Because on one side, it seems like we're all going all out on President Trump. And on the other side, the wheels of justice are going very slow. It doesn't seem to be like equal amount of resources being devoted to looking into Hunter Biden's laptop.
What?
Okay, well, stop.
Hunter Biden.
I don't care. I mean, this is just sitting on some bullshit. Stop. And that's the bad part about the internet. It gives stupid people a fucking microphone. Again, fine. Child porn, secrets to China, whatever the fuck. Okay, fine. There's something wrong with Hunter Biden's laptop. We still need to address the fact that your president committed a fucking crime. Right? Okay, Hillary, Benghazi, okay, the bitch fucked up. Okay, Hillary did something wrong. We still need to talk about Donald Trump. Again, this is the problem, gang. This is the problem. Please continue to tell me that my house stinks. Please continue to tell me that there's dirty dishes. You can name 500 other issues. But if you walk into my house and you shit in the middle of my living room floor, you're right. There's dishes in my sink. There's actually not a single dish in my sink because I can't live like that. You still shit on my floor. See?
Right.
All the other problems. Hunter Biden's laptop. What about Benghazi? Biden has dementia. You still have not addressed the fact that Donald Trump has committed a fucking crime. And this is why this is hard to listen to.
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
are we giving these idiots a microphone? I don't care what these fuck faces have to say. They support the worst president that I've experienced in my 50 years. This isn't politics.
To me, they're absolutely the problem. I don't know why I do. It's the same thing with Christian apologetics. It's like, why do I do this thing where I listen to people that I hate constantly? But these are seriously, like, again, the ability to just hypocrisy out loud like this, the boldness of it. Right. It really does baffle me. It's you just want to say, the rest of us can see you, that we can see you, we can hear you,
yes,
that we also, have seen the news. We've also read these things. Gang, if you want a little bit of reading to do, if you look up basically annotated Trump indictment, there's literally like an annotated version where they've gone through and like highlighted sections and like commented out as the times and everything. So this is a little bit of homework that like anybody can do. Like, this is a real moment in history, right? We're living in a moment in history. We are. Not only was like the first time a former president was ever indicted in Blase and Glavinois, but because of the internet and technology, it's also the case that when that happened, the entire country could just Google the annotated indictment and be like, oh shit. Trump is fucked. Right? Right? And then these fools are literally sitting around like, well, isn't it all just a bit too convenient? I think he was set up. I think it was written. You're like, no, do you know the rest of us can read the indictment? It's insane, man.
It's garbage. It's absolute trash.
Biden's laptop is an issue for these folks in thinking about what's going on right now in the Republican Party.
About Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton had all this stuff, and she was never indicted. You've got the DOJ, you've got the FBI reporting up to Biden. Ultimately, this goes up to Biden. So why wouldn't you want to take out your toughest political opponent? And this is election interference like we've never seen before.
Pause the tape. I don't give a fuck. Stop. Now he's parroting Donald Trump. Right? Donald Trump is a salesperson. Right? No one can do this better than I. No one knows this more than. Listen to what he just said. That he's parroting his grand exalted leader. Right? We've never seen anything like this before. Bullshit. Other presidents have gotten their balls busted mainly because they fucking deserved it. But the whole Donald Trump thing is like, no one's been more, persecuted than me. First, again, this is the bad part about the internet. These people, when I was a kid, without the internet, these would be the assholes. Literally outside of college football stadium with sandwich boards saying the end is nigh. It's like, repent, swinging a fucking cowbell, repent. And we would all laugh at his monkey ass while we just walked in. We just fucked. We just ran a train, had a train ran on you. You're half drunk. And this asshole's just in. You're like, you'd be the crazy person that no one listened to.
Absolutely.
Right? And now these people are sitting here on MSNBC. How many millions of people get to hear what these assholes have to say? Right? This is a witch hunt like the likes that we've never seen. No, it's not the likes that we've never seen. It's just that you've supported an insurrectionist, a traitor, the worst leader in my 5 decades on this planet. I mean, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like I know people like this that are just straight up on that Trump tip, and they're just delusional, gang. This is painful.
It is.
That's what Trump posts to Truth Central. This is election interference like we've never seen before. That's where they get this stuff.
And it's disguised as Trump's a bad guy.
How many of you wanted Hillary Clinton to be indicted for her? Okay, did you think?
Okay, so of the people at the table, 2 of the 8 did not raise their hand that they wanted Hillary indicted.
She should go to jail for what she did?
Absolutely.
Because Trump at the
Okay, now that's interesting. They're saying Hillary should have gone to jail. These are the folks who claim to be about law and order and bemoan lack of due process when it comes to Trump. They're saying Hillary should have gone to jail. They don't know about the evidence. They seem not to care that Hillary was cleared. They seem not
I was
to
about
know
to say the same
that
thing.
there was no chargeable crime that Hillary was involved in.
Pause
but
the tape.
while
Pause the
saying,
tape.
Yeah, this
is
don't
the
give a
problem.
shit.
No, they don't. Again, Hillary Clinton has not been politically relevant in 5.5 years. She tried to beat Trump. Sadly, she did not. And again, that's the sad part, gang. Say what you will about the Clintons. I don't give a shit. Dude, this country had a choice to make. Someone with political experience or Donald Trump. And people literally said, I'm voting for him because he's not. And you're right, Liz. You took the words out of my mouth. Fuck my words. Liz said it. Hillary cooperated. She didn't pout like a fucking kid like Trump did. You goddamn right, Liz. You nailed it. Right? Hillary Clinton has not been politically relevant. We had a choice to make. An actual politician or a reality TV show. We chose the reality TV show host. Hillary Clinton has not been politically relevant in about half a decade. Joe Biden is the son, Hunter Biden is the son of the United States president. He's not a politician.
At all.
Donald Trump's kids have got more dirt underneath their fingernails because they were involved in the presidency. Donald Trump is a sack of shit. He was the president. He doesn't seem to understand that this is part of the job. Again, if you want to lead the band, you have to turn your back to the crowd. That means we all can see your ass. There's no line when you're in the presidency. We see everything that you've done. He's admitted to doing this. And it's like, you can't touch me. Lawyers are dropping off because he won't cooperate because he's acting like a fucking asshole. What was it, like 60 charges when they said, oh, Donald Trump won the election. Oh, we totally. And I had to learn this from the lawyers at work. If you are a lawyer and you knowingly present false information to someone sitting on the bench, it will cost you your license. And while they're sitting there on Fox, Donald Trump, I've got all these, look at all these documents. I've got documents. You see, I got documents. I got so many fucking documents. They're documents. They're documents. Then the judge said, put that shit on my table so I can see it. What documents are you talking about? Every single last one of them backed the fuck down. 2 of his lawyers have backed out already.
Yeah, they're worried that he won't be able to find representation throughout this.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That this is why.
This
is dealing with Christian apologetics.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. It is the same thing. They just never seem to notice how wrong they are.
Atheism means I don't believe you. Period. End of story. Well, atheism is a worldview. So you have to explain. I just told you that it just simply means I don't believe it. Well, you have to explain the Big Bang and morality. I just said that's what this is like.
Right.
And now we're going to dip from Voltaire.
And
I'm sorry, man.
It's something I said about Christians. Like, just look yourself in the mirror and admit that you don't give a fuck about anything other than what this person can do for you. Just admit to yourself it's all about what Trump can do for you. Therefore, you don't give a fuck about anything. Then we'd at least be having an honest conversation.
Yeah, and YouTube pump. Yeah, Hillary endured, how many Benghazi investigations? And you guys remember how she sat there like a professional? She didn't pout. She didn't do what about. She sat there and she took that ass whipping. That's what you want from a politician. I really have to calm down because I got to work after this. I got to do some shit on my house. I'm about to have a fucking stroke. It's like listening to it. I'm listening to grown-ups lie.
But yeah, also like history like really matters, right? When you life is different when you go right and you should have went left. Even Comey admitted later that he regretted the timing and the way the Hillary investigation was handled because of how it, kind of contributed to the shortcomings of her campaign. Even though, of course, I think the bigger problem was the willingness of so many of us to play with the system, right? To kind of, we were a little bit immature, right? A lot of Americans were just like, you know what, politicians suck, and we all know they're all crooked and corrupt, so let's just elect this guy. So that'll teach him. Yeah, and we were wrong about that. Even though, of course, I voted for Hillary, but I'm just saying I understand that. I think the bigger problem was the national, attitude towards Trump. But anyway, think about that though. Like, that's why they're so problematic. They cost us. They cost us history totally. We can't repeat, right? Like I always say, you can never talk enough about COVID-19. Gang, we have, fingers crossed, so far lived through a pandemic. Think about, the phrase, you should live in interesting times. I would say I wish these times were a little bit less interesting, right? Because you want to live in interesting times, but you don't really want to live through pandemics, wars, global conflicts, crazy natural disasters. And we are living in this fucked up, don't look up burrito of, climate change should have been the thing that's scaring us, but we, on top of all our social issues and shit, we've got like literally, COVID and the war in Ukraine and escalation and all the shit that we're going through. And these people are on the wrong side of all those issues, and we can't undo it. Like, we can't go back and be like, haha, do you see now? So y'all want to do the pandemic again, and this time we'll do the mask and social distancing, right? No, like, we just fucked the goat and millions of people died, and that's it. That's it. Like, it's and you don't get to do it over again. Right? And we needed Hillary instead of Trump. Like, I'm not here to jerk off the Clintons, but again, we needed adults, professionals in the room, and we can't ever undo this. And look at this fucking nightmare we are in after the Trump administration, and look at the nightmare we continue to be in because the Republican Party is still the party of Trump. And so I just encourage people, and I think it's really important to impress upon people throughout the spectrum of whatever stage they're at in life, that when you talk about voting, you talk about the democratic process. Like, this isn't a game, right? Hopefully, that's the one thing we've learned as again, fingers crossed, surviving thus far. But this shit is crazy, man.
Terrible. Absolutely unspeakably bad.
Out of one side of their mouth, we're for law and order and due process and the justice system working properly. They're saying imprison Hillary Clinton, despite the fact that she was cleared of criminality.
Said that she should go to jail for mishandling classified information. Do you think he should be held to the same standard that he was setting for Hillary Clinton, or do you think that it's different for some reason?
I think he said that when you understand his personality and how he words things, he said that in jest.
So that's a great moment. Okay, this is what we call cognitive
out of
dissonance
context.
or magical thinking, depending on your perspective.
Absolutely.
They're asked, Trump said Hillary should also be locked up for those things, but now Trump did it. What about we simply hold Trump to the standard he said should be applied to Hillary Clinton? And they go, well, when Trump said Hillary should be locked up, he was kidding. But these
and again, hang on a second. I was going to say, he's probably going to say the same thing. But these are the Christians. I was going to say, y'all just said that you think she should go to jail.
Just said Hillary should be locked up.
You said it.
Were they also kidding 30 seconds earlier?
Oh, my goodness.
It doesn't matter. They're in a world of their
own.
The
hypocrisy out loud, gang.
He's just trying to paint a word picture, but should she have gotten some sort of punishment? Yes.
And they're smiling like, yeah, go. Yeah, that's a good dance move.
Whatever he wants to declassify. So, and other presidents that have left office have had classified documents.
Again, another talking point straight from the right. Trump is entitled to declassify things. Trump admits in audio recordings he didn't declassify those things. The actions for which Trump has been indicted took place after he was president. When we talk
it's like I want Christians to talk that shit in front of God and Jesus. They are constantly telling us we're misquoting things. Look at Uncle Bobby's face. This screen pulled up. Oh,
well, no, goodness. I mean, this is no different than someone sitting in your living room, looking you dead in the face, saying, I did not shit in your living room. Like, I just watched you shit in my living room. It's like, I didn't shit in your living room. I watched you unzip your jeans. I watched you squat. You spread your cheeks. I watched it come out. I smelled it as it was coming out. Their response, I didn't shit in your living room. I mean, how many more microphones are we going to give Trump supporters?
I
mean, stop calling a spade anything other than a motherfucking spade. Donald Trump has, I would say he's all but admitted he's done it, but he's admitted he's done it.
He's admitted
he has. He absolutely has. And I don't give a fuck about what Hillary Clinton did. I don't care. Let's rewind this shit all the way back to Nixon. Well, what Nixon did, please continue to point out the warts on everyone else's face. There's still shit in my living room.
Absolutely.
That came out of your butthole. And that's all. That's the only defense they have against any of this is, well, what about Hillary Clinton? What about Joe Biden? What about Hunter Biden? Robert Reed walks with a limp. Life isn't fair. You can sit here and throw out all these smoke screens, but you still have yet to discuss the fact that your president is fucked up.
Absolutely. An absolute traitor.
This is garbage.
Monster, and the funny thing is, again, it's just like the Christian apologetics, where please sit down in front of God and Jesus and now say that thing about we were taking it out of context and the Bible doesn't say what it says, and right, oh no, Lord, your word is perfect, right? Because again, when they get together on Sunday morning, God's word is perfect and it's always true and it means exactly what it says, but then all of a sudden we're like, okay, cool, we see, right, and see this part right here where they're genociding, right? See this part right here about if somebody rapes you, yeah, you got to murder them, you got to marry them, and then see that's all sorts of fucked up. Oh no, oh no, it doesn't really mean that. See, you have to understand the 18th definition of this word and interpret this other way, and all this. And I'm like, just please say that shit in front. I wish, as an atheist, that Jesus was sitting right here to hear you say that he didn't mean to say what it says in his word. It's just ridiculous.
About Obama or Bush and their documents, they arranged with NARA to temporarily store documents in specific places, disclosing where that was on a temporary basis until they could be permanently located either at presidential libraries or other places. It's not true what this guy is saying, but it is in lockstep with what Trump and Mark Levin and these other right-wing figures have fed to them.
They were not treated the same way as Donald Trump is being treated. It is a two-tier justice system in this country.
Literally another word, another phrase from Trump. This is what this guy has fallen.
Mark Levin. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Mark Levin is a fuckface he's a reporter on Fox. And if you guys did not see what he did last week, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why are we quoting Mark Levin? Why are we giving these fuckers it? This is exactly what happened.
Oh,
Mark Levin sat.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask if he was the guy
Levin,
who did the two-tier justice system thing. You heard it?
No.
Heard that?
Mark Levin sat across. He's a reporter for Fox. Here's Mark Levin. Here's Donald Trump. This was just like last week or 2 weeks ago. After all the dirt that we have on Donald Trump. You're the greatest president that's ever. I mean, I don't understand why anyone will. You're the greatest president of all time. I don't understand. That was the interview. That was quite. And Donald Trump just sat there, and you know how he sits on the edge of the seat and he has his hands like this, and he was like, he just sat there and accepted this blowjob live on TV.
Oh yeah.
And I bullshit you not. That was the entire interview. You were the greatest president of all time. You're the single greatest thing that's ever happened to the entire universe. You're so phenomenal. You're so great. You've never done anything wrong. I mean, how could anyone not love Donald Trump? You're so great. And he just sat and literally, he just like, why is Mark Levin a topic of conversation? Why are these people being interviewed? Please go fuck yourselves. It's like Christian apologist, right? Let's consider the feelings of the pedophile. Let's consider the feelings of the rapist. Let's consider the feelings of the Unabomber. No,
that's not.
No, I'm not going to consider their feelings. Well, they thought it was right, and fuck them and the horse they rode in on. How about that?
Absolutely.
Right? Why do I have to hear about Mark Levin? Why do I have to hear about Marjorie Taylor Greene and all these fuckfaces?
It's the same, but it's the same reason we have to know who William Lane Craig and Sean McDowell are, because they have to go to reach for these crazy, totally ridiculous, as you would say, wild and out ass apologists who just feed them the fucking bullshit they need. And I just, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I just have the feeling like they're bad people. Like at some deep level, they're just they're just fooling out, rooting for the bad guys, and maybe at some level, if we went far enough into their past, we could figure out how they got there. I'm sure they're a product of their environment, right? But at the same time, they are responsible for who they happen to be right now, and it's very difficult for me to deal with people like this.
For all of it.
For sure.
Did you want to say something else? Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No doubt about it.
The biggest thing is that
All right, let's skip ahead a little bit here to other moments from the panels. If you're interested in the interview between Judy Woodruff and the pollster Sarah Longwell,
it's hard to get through like 10 minutes of this shit. I don't know how people do this.
Capitol Police walking these people through the Capitol, talking. No problems whatsoever.
Okay, yeah, this is...
Stop.
Go ahead.
Stop. Pause. I can't deal with this. Now, again, more bullshit. Now he's talking about January the 6th. I can't listen to that. I can't sit here and listen to... Well, the Capitol Police, they calmly escorted everybody, and it was a peaceful protest, and they prayed to Jesus. It was an insurrection.
Absolutely.
It was an in-fucking-surrection. They threatened the life of the vice president. Hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. You literally could not bring bottles of water to BLM marches because they said we were afraid that you would freeze them and use them as weapons. But some way, somehow, your monkey ass got enough lumber from fucking Home Depot to build literal fucking gallows while screaming the phrase, hang Mike Pence.
Right. And they let you construct it.
Yeah, they let you sit there and fucking construct it. Ashley Babbitt was fucking murdered. I don't care for fucking Ashley Babbitt, but that dumb bastard should still be alive. But she drank the fucking Kool-Aid.
Yep.
They defend Ashley Babbitt. They sat there and they drilled this shit out of George Floyd for allegedly having a fake $20 bill. This raggedy bitch was trying to commit a fucking crime.
Absolutely.
They told her to stand down. They said, fire, fire, fire. Then they shot that piece of shit as she was breaking the fucking law. Why are we listening to people make excuses for the worst behavior literally in my short lifetime?
I absolutely.
And the fuckface is going to sit here and say, well, the police were calmly escorting people through the Capitol. No, they were not. Lauren Boebert was live tweeting the location of Nancy fucking Pelosi because they wanted Nancy Pelosi to fucking die.
Yep.
Why are we giving these people credibility?
Yeah.
Why is MSNBC should have gotten those people on there for one reason and one reason only, and that is shut your fucking mouth, shut your fucking mouth, shut your fucking mouth, shut your fucking mouth, and shut your fucking mouth. I'm not going to sit here and give credibility to bullshit.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
Man, give me a break.
I mean, I do think they're exposing, you know, the delusion, but yeah, we're in a very weird time where, you know, first off, I think the national news and broadcast is all kind of it's kind of a dinosaur. Maybe it's way past its time, but yeah, they you know, this is because I don't know where this fits in the spectrum of like doing the town hall with Donald Trump or the town hall with Mike Pence, right? It's like all this sort of like weird sort of, you know, normalizing the right, but at the same time being like, well, we have a journalistic obligation to, you know. But one of the things, you talk about this a little bit on your channel too, and for me, when I talk about it, I sort of say like they're, for a bunch of bigots, you're not very good bigots. Like, please notice how, for instance, like when you're dealing with Christian apologetics and they get together, we're all about traditional family because he created us male and female, and we are not going to participate in the right. And then when we're like, yeah, so the Bible says here for man to lie with man is an abomination, and for a man to dress in woman's clothes an abomination. All of a sudden, instead of being like, yeah, exactly, because we're for family values, and he created us male and female, fuck them queers, that's what it is, right? All of a sudden, it's, oh, no, see, he loves everybody, and you took that out of context, and it's hate the sin, but not to love the sinner, and we're like, wait, what happened to all that shit you was talking a minute ago, right? Like, what happened to all that shit you was talking a minute ago? And this January 6th thing is the same thing. Please notice how Donald Trump was like, y'all have to go fight for your country. You got to go take that shit right now. And they were like, we're taking this shit. We're going to conquer this shit. Hang Mike Pence. Kill Nancy Pelosi. They literally shit on the wall. They beat the cops with flags. And then when we talk about it, oh no, sorry, that we were just looking and doing a tourism. We were on a field trip. Notice how we were just doing a peaceful protest. What happened to all that shit you was talking a minute ago?
Exactly. I mean, fucking nailed it.
Yeah, man.
You know, the problem is they think we're stupid.
Exactly.
They think we did not see what it is we actually saw. I remember they counted the number of times, and I can't remember exactly how many. Let's just say it was 35. They counted the number of times Donald Trump said the word fight during his January the 6th speech. Then you look at Rudy Giuliani, Rob Johnson, his sons. Every single last one of them made a quote unquote indirect reference to fighting. Today's the day we kick ass and take names. Ted Cruz compared this to the battle scene from Braveheart. Everything about January the 6th said violence. Said, hey, you're right. You're right. Don't believe your eyes. Fucking exactly. They think we're stupid.
They really do.
They think we are fucking stupid. That we did not see what it is we actually saw. That we did not hear what it is we actually fucking heard. This is why I haven't done a lot of shows on this bullshit. This is why I couldn't get all the way through, fuck face Jeff Durbin. Right? That's why I sat there and I listened to Turek. Right? Again, the Trinity doesn't make sense. Trinity makes total sense. Then he proceeds to sit there and say the exact same thing that they've all said. Nonsensical bullshit.
Right? Jesus, God, the Father is the Son, is the Holy Spirit, but the Father is not the Son, who is not the Holy Spirit.
And then he ends it with, that seems to be the problem. What's the problem? I know I totally contradicted myself, but according to your worldview, what's wrong with contradiction? So I'm just like, come on, guys.
Oh, man. All right, let's see how much
this is another right-wing argument, which they have been fed and have uncritically accepted. If what the rioters did was so wrong, why did the Capitol Police welcome them? And of course, once you realize, well, what was going on was once police realize they are unable to keep a crowd back, then you have to give way. And at that point, what you want to do is keep people calm. But the idea was the Capitol Police thought it was great. They just welcomed the protesters. How can you charge them?
And then they turn around and say, they attacked us, in essence. The videos show a whole different story than what they're saying happened.
Arguably, once we got the videos from the January 6th committee, what happened is even worse than what was originally reported.
All right, but okay. Here's the thing, though. So this is the thing. He said once we got the videos from the January 6th committee, I wish or hope that they asked these people at some point, how many of y'all watched the January 6th hearing? Because I guarantee, how many of y'all watched the January 6th hearings?
No.
Because I guarantee you almost none of them did, right? It's just like the Bible, right? They all believe in how many of you actually read the Bible? No, most of y'all don't read the Bible, right? And so this is the same thing. They did not watch the January 6th hearings. And it's the same thing with this Trump indictment. Again, there's an annotated Trump indictment with pictures. It is like you could literally assign it as homework for 8th graders. And your 8th graders could go through a federal indictment and they're going to know exactly how fucked up this is, because this shit is historic. These people do not avail themselves of challenging information ever. And it's just
they don't care. They do not care.
And so it's this crazy combination. They have to avoid the information themselves strategically, which is a confession, right? Like when you don't watch the January 6th committee hearing because you don't want to see what really happened, then you already know that you're conceding what happened because you can't even bear to watch it. And then you have to act like the rest of us didn't sit through and watch it.
Yeah. It's no different than, again, that video I did on Todd Friel, right? You can ask someone like you who's educated on the topic of biology and evolution. I can ask Jay Bundy, or I can just sit here and say the crocoduck proves that evolution is false.
Right.
The information is sitting right there. This is why I call these fuck faces liars.
Absolutely.
It's not that you don't know the information, you don't want the information because it's available to everybody. And here's the thing, for those that did watch the January the 6th hearings, I watched them, wouldn't matter because now this is like fuckface William Lane Craig, who sat not 20 feet from an actual physicist. He did not destroy him. He did not humiliate him. It was not epic style. He educated that man and told him, look, dude, just so you know, nothing that you said comes close to even describing Big Bang cosmology. This is what I do for a living, okay? Nothing that you said relates to what I do. Believe in God all you want, but just so you know, the Kalam, it's got nothing to do with my line of work. Nothing. Whatever comes to existence has a cause. He was told at minimum what Big Bang cosmology is not.
To his face, point blank.
To his face. And he did not change his script. You can show, again, Donald Trump has straight up said, yeah, I took that shit. What seems to be the problem? He said, you have to go out there and fight like hell. I'll be right there behind you. I would know where to be found. It's right there. There's not like this anti-Trump video library that we can all sit and watch and get pissed off about. We watch the same shit. They watch the same shit. Right. Except we say Donald Trump's a guilty sack of shit. They say
exactly.
Right. So
now the thing is, the thing that's so interesting to me about that is it makes me think about what you're saying about like how many microphones do we put in front of these people. I think what's happening, the problem is we're willing to like platform them. Okay, let's expose them. Ha ha ha, radical lifestyles. But you're right. They're not willing to do that follow-up thing where it's you shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up, or at least having the bigger conversation about how divorced from reality a lot of this is. Because again, I think even the MSNBCs of the world, they're still afraid of losing those dollars, right? They still have to go at this in a way that's, acceptable to like a wide, unfortunately still conservative leaning sort of, mass market. And it's very limiting as to what they do. But I'm starting to think that it's a much bigger part of the problem than we address, because they have the reach and the audience but it's just they lack the integrity. That seems to be
nailed it. Integrity.
It really wasn't a big deal.
I personally don't think that like he was calling people to like do like I watched like what he said and everything and like goodness. I mean he didn't say anything to me like in watching it that was like, oh yeah, he's telling them to go and like storm the Capitol, like I personally didn't feel like that, that what he was said was so inflammatory that he was just trying to like, tear the country apart.
They're still arresting people too.
He quite literally was trying
Again, this is so Uncle Bobby, listen, you and I both don't like Jeff Durbin, right? But I'm not exactly a martial artist. Now, it would be a shame if something happened to him, but what kind of situation do you think we could find ourselves in if there was just maybe no more Jeff Durbin tomorrow, right? Like how far up the line do you have to go? And then Jeff Durbin disappears, at the hand of Uncle Bobby. And then I'm like, no. But what I really said was, Uncle Bobby, do you think you could maybe take care of our Jeff Durbin problem for me? Well, he didn't say off that motherfucker. He actually said, could you take care? He actually said, could you pay him a visit? Now, I don't. When he says take care of him and pay him a visit, it is Father's Day. Don't you think he would just, maybe want, that's what they're doing.
Oh, totally. And this is why this is so hard to listen to. Again, there's a billion analogies, but reality speaks for itself. Look, Donald Trump incited those riots. Period. End of story. And it wasn't just what he said on January the 6th. Donald Trump has been pumping this up to where he didn't have to go out and say, go fuck everyone up. Donald Trump for 4 years has just been adding every day just a dropper of lighter fluid on the floor.
Yep.
A dropper, a drop, a drop, a drop for 4 years. So all he had to do on January the 6th was to light a single match. Period. End of story. And I got to go here in a couple minutes.
You're good,
but
you're good.
while I'm sitting here listening to this lady talk, well, I didn't hear anything specific, like you just said. Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where we didn't have to live and listen to Jeff Durbin? Now, if you said that on the 16th and on the 17th, there's no more Jeff Durbin, right? Doesn't that sound just a little bit fucked up? I mean, black people have been killed for less. Well, you fit the description.
Right.
That's what this is, right? I mean, okay, so Donald Trump on January the 6th did not 100% say, go storm the Capitol. Okay, in order to see that, you have to ignore the entirety of not just the 4 years, but the year and a half of campaigning, where he quite literally said, you see that guy? Fuck him up. I'll pay for the bills. Fuck him all the way up.
Right.
Donald Trump said that.
And the only way they can win is if it's stolen.
Right,
and
right.
the only way you can keep your country is if you fight for it. And then he literally strategized every single way possible to interfere with that peaceful transfer of power and the certification of the vote. And we forget also that it was successful. Again, the Congress literally went into hiding. But again, I guess that was a false flag, Antifa, Muslim-led operation.
Again, we have Donald Trump on video. Again, this is no different than any of y'all significant others, provided you've got a monogamous relationship. You walking in while they're fucking someone else. We have crystal clear audio of Donald Trump, and they interviewed the people that took the phone call, and they said, we didn't want to pick up the phone because we knew what he was going to ask. And these were hardcore Republicans. And Donald Trump was like, fellas, all I need, to the exact vote, all I need is 11,619 votes. And they're like, Mr. President, they're not here. And I remember he's like, you sure about that? We've got this on video, on audio.
Right.
Again, if I walk in and my girl is fucking someone else, is it possible that I smoked too much? Is it possible that I went back on Vicodin? Is it possible that I downed an entire fifth of alcohol? Is it possible that I didn't see what I did? It's possible. It's not probable. I just walked in and she was fucking someone else in the bed that I fucking paid for. We've got how many stone cold in your fucking I took the documents. You goddamn right I did.
Right.
I absolutely called the Georgia officials and said, dude, you just need to go ahead and stake me about 12,000 votes. What seems to be the problem? So again, this is why I can't listen to that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he even with these documents, he literally was saying to people, I really shouldn't be showing you this, but look at this. And literally saying, well, wouldn't it be better if we told them that we gave them all the documents? Oh, and then wouldn't it be better if there just were no documents? You know how Hillary's lawyer got rid of all the documents? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I mean, and we have recordings of this shit. So I mean, this is just
it's hard to listen to. You're listening to someone lie to your face at this stage. They are lying to your face. Period.
Absolutely. Well, go ahead and I guess from my end, I would just say, gang, let's prepare because this is really just the beginning. And the funny thing is, I really think that anytime things progress and get more serious with Trump, they're also going to escalate with Trump supporters. So, they are going to be violently weaponized as far as opposing this. I do think, I'm hopeful in the end that a good percentage of even the most hardcore Trump supporters will ultimately, fall off the bandwagon along this process. But it's not going to be, it's hard for me to see it really being like a majority or anything like that because you wouldn't be on this far. If you're still the Trump supporter today, you are, to me, in my mind, you're like a Christian who's committed to dying wrong.
Totally.
Like you're just
yeah. This is the Jim Jones level bullshit. This is the Kool-Aid is being mixed. It's not quite in the cups yet. That's all this is at this stage of the game. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fun.
This is a good one to come back to. Absolutely.
Yeah, glad we man, glad we at least touched on the Trump thing. It is crazy and historic. And,
very crazy.
Yeah. But we'll be back next week to do some
next
more
week.
counter apologetics. Please subscribe to Gin and Truth down in the description and the Pocket Locker 86 channels. Thank you so much, gang. We'll see you at 3:30 today for Hot Program, and I think we'll have our gather meeting tonight at 8. So that's what's next for me.
I'll be listening to that while I do my housework.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll stay tuned for the next episode of Gin and Truth.
Perfection.
But yeah, thanks so much, gang. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Peace.